big that is now with no zooming in. That's 4 miles away.
The cause of the fire is believed to be related to a combine bearing overheating while a field was being harvested.
That'll make your life flash before your eyes. Jesus. What a mess. That is a major problem. That's it. Okay, it's on there.
Is that I-beam bending?
Not really. Not that I can see. Yeah, maybe a little.
I think it's just pushing that into the I-beam into the dirt.
Yeah, I think so.
It moved it.
So we have back at the shop we have a steel plate that it's about that thick and about that big around with a handle on it. It used to be an old gate for unloading grain truck. But I mean it's thicker than shit.
You're not bending that I-beam.
Yeah, it's gonna snap.
Is that I-beam bending?
Yeah. All right, so that tire issue was really bad, and we got it actually fixed. We got over here, we worked on it a little bit yesterday, and I was just frustrated, and everybody was frustrated, and it wasn't working. We were losing daylight, so we decided to come back this morning. We got out here pretty early with a new approach to it, and it worked. It worked. We were able to eventually dig enough dirt to get a bottle jack underneath the frame, jack it up, support blocks under the other part of the frame, and we pulled the spindle assembly off of an older machine and put that on there, switched the tire back on. That's supposed to be on there, and that should work. Unfortunately, that other spindle is probably in almost as bad a condition. So I went ahead and ordered one from John Deere, and it won't be here until tomorrow afternoon, but we've got the one that's on there that'll be good enough for short term. I will get this field done today. It should have been done yesterday, but you know, the wheel fell off. Literally, knock this out today, and then I think both Gary and I will be done with our respective fields, and we'll move back home. He'll start doing the beans at home, and I'm going to start doing my corn in the field right next to him, and that way it'll be easier for us to share the truck. And I'll say, having Mark help this year is awesome. I think it's kind of he's part of a program that the USDA has in conjunction with veterans. We are not growing any more farmers. I'm fortunate that my family did this, and I was able to get in at an older age, and I still don't know half of what I would like to know, but I'm not having any kids. A lot of people, when they do have kids, are moving on to college and getting degrees in other fields, and you can't just like go to school and get out and start farming. It's a lot of money. I mean, you got to buy the equipment. You're going to need a combine, probably 2 different heads for the combine. You're going to need a big tractor and a grain wagon. You're going to need another tractor that can pull a planter. All the stuff you're going to buy is going to be used because you're new and you don't have any money. So all those different items are going to break down constantly because what you're going to be able to buy has been used and abused. So I'm glad we have him here. He's an engineer. He's way smarter than I am. And he is not afraid to just jump in and say, hey, let's do this. This will work. This will won't, or whatever. He knows. He's a smart guy. He's a really smart guy, and it's good to have an extra hand like that around here for sure. So it's been a good day so far today. We got 2 fields wrapped up. Gary's starting on this bean field right here next to home, and I am going to do a little bit of Mark's got a small piece by his house that we're going to do for him. Rant warning. You know what is the most annoying thing about harvest this year? It's nothing to do with farming, other than the fact that we all use our phones to communicate. We don't use CBs like they used to back in the day, or two-way radios. We just use our phones. And so every time you hear your phone ring, it's important that you know, look at it or listen to it or see what it is, because someone might be an update for something. But I would say 1 out of every 7 calls that I've received today have been from someone trying to get me to vote for them. Now, I'm sorry, but no farmer is going to change their vote because you called them in the middle of their workday, in the middle of harvest. It's not going to happen. Everybody knows who they're voting for already anyway. You're not changing anybody's mind in these last whatever, how many days we have. I don't even know. Sorry for anybody that lives outside of the U.S., but in the U.S., this is what we have to deal with. Constant barrage of political advertisements from both sides. Jeez, that guy just drives right down the middle whether there's someone coming or not. Anyway, that's all over. We're gonna go do this little patch of corn over here. This has seriously been the driest, most difficult pain in the butt harvest I've ever dealt with. I think a lot of other people are saying the same thing. Like, the corn is so dry that after about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can't harvest it because it just sits, it'll sit down there on top of the snouts and it won't actually go in the machine. It just piles up and then you have to get out and push it in, which is definitely not the way it should work, but that's what it's been doing. And we have had so many breakdowns, just one after another on both of our machines, and it's exhausting.
I've traveled this big world, lonesome I have roamed. I've laid down in green pastures, I've rolled down rocky roads. And as my hair turned silver, I lost my lust for gold. Now cups of wine can't satisfy the thirst within my soul.
Uh-oh, it looks like someone burnt up a combine right now. I'll try and zoom in way out there on the horizon. But winds are about 35, 40 miles an hour today. I know that's no one burning garbage. So I think someone's combine's burning up. I just hit the scanner and that is actually a prairie fire. And luckily the wind is mostly blowing away from us and it's blowing away from the farm. But it is like 1.5 miles from the farm. But look how big that is now with no zooming in. That's 4 miles away. Now this is what's been happening. When I was talking about that it won't feed in because it's too dry. I see that, think about how dry it is. I look at the age of this machine and I see that fire over there and I'm saying I think I'm going to stop today. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Oh no, looks like there's another one over there now. Two. Oh man. It's close enough to the farm and there's no one at the farm right now. I just idled this down before I turned on the camera, but oops, head down. That makes me nervous. That's huge. See, it really doesn't take much. You know, you hear people making fun of people for having jacked up trucks and stuff, or lifted trucks. But look at my truck. Mine's an F-150. I'm driving through all of that. That's just waiting for a fire to happen. You always try and run a flat spot down with your wheels so that you don't have anything possibly touching the engine or anything that's hot under your car or vehicle. But these short trucks like that, it's pretty hard when you got corn stalks under there or bean dust. All right, well, we're gonna head home and see what the situation is here. Okay, just pulled up in the farm here. There it is. That's literally just a mile away. Look at this, fire starts and everybody starts driving around. Looky-loos. They got everybody in the county driving by to see it. The busiest this road's been in years. Well, they almost had it out. It was dissipated down quite a bit, but now that just popped up over there. Neighbor went by, it turns out it was actually his combine, which is pretty new, but a bearing went out and dropped sparks across the field, and that's what you get. That's why you grease a lot, even when you don't want to. Like Gary says, and like my grandpa said, you never saw anything break down because it had too much grease. And we've got so many people going up and down this road. Nebraska's cut like a grid. It's all squares. That's a mile away. And I have counted no less than 60 cars going up and down this road. The firemen can't get through because all these people see the smoke and they want to drive over and see it. It's just terrible. No one drives up and down this road that much. Look at that, there's another one. Look at all those people. Now we got people pulling on our field so they can watch. What the hell, people?
Wildfire started just before 2 this afternoon, burning 250 to 300 acres. Firefighters battled the blaze for about 4 hours. It has since been contained. 14 departments, including crews from Saunders and Cass County, responded. The cause of the fire is believed to be related to a combine bearing overheating while a field was being harvested. At around 3 p.m., law enforcement and fire units began evacuating residents. Firefighters will continue to monitor hotspots overnight, and some roads in the area will remain closed.
Yeah, it's been a couple days since I last turned on the camera here, but I'm just gonna record this. Probably, hopefully, it won't be used. But we had that big fire, and we're pretty much in a state where you should be right now. No one should be burning anything. That's coming up the hill, and someone over there has got a big bunch of black smoke going. What the hell? Why are you burning? What is going on, people?
I've traveled this big world, lonesome I have roamed. I've laid down in green pastures, I've rolled down rocky roads. As my hair turned silver, I lost my lust for gold. Now cups of wine